we had a few minutes. I was going to say we never did get to show. I think it was you, Paul, that was never heard Tarantino's take on J.J. Abrams' Star Trek before.
No.
Did you want to hear that quick?
Sure.
Or you want to end it?
Oh, and it's after my 2:00 break here. But this has been so fascinating. I've been listening. This has been fun.
It's up to you if you want to do it or not. It's like 3 minutes. So.
Oh, I'll listen, of course. I mean, if that's good for the show.
We can finish off the show for the day with that.
By the way, I've been blocked by Patton Oswalt.
Sweet. That's like a badge of honor.
He tweeted to Musk complaining about the loss of the blue check. And then I wrote to him, I tweeted him, your groveling response to Chappelle's hug was enough to know your worth.
Ooh, that's good.
And then,
ouch.
And I'm nothing in his life. I mean, I don't understand. He's still a big performer, and he blocked me. But I stand by my tweet. That was for a comedian to be that obsequious. Is that the right word? To back down that way. He hugs his lifetime friend Chappelle for some kind of Christmas picture. And then he gets dumped on by the certain community that is anti-Chappelle. And then his groveling apology was so wretched. I'm going, he's not a comedian. I mean, if you're a comedian, you double down on it, right? You have fun with it.
Right.
No.
Well, if you're a comedian with any talent, that is.
You know what? He was funny. He
No, Patton Oswalt is a thin-skinned little prick.
Well,
let's be real about it.
I'm not going to. I'm just saying that in this particular case, I was really quite shocked he didn't come back with some kind of a funny retort.
I can't say what I really think about him publicly.
Don't. But you know what? It's a proud day to be blocked by Patton Oswalt, and I will defend Chappelle over Patton any day of the year. Comedians have to stick together, for God's sakes. It proved to me he's not a comedian. We have an oath. we have like the Mandalorians.
There is a way.
There is a way, and it's the punchline. And you have to manage your punchlines. Always have one. And
Patton Oswalt was like Seth Rogen before Seth Rogen. In the sense that he was in everything. It's like, come on.
You know what? I think that, and he's turned into as funny as Seth Rogen. I think
pretty much
parallel.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, let's play this for you here because I thought this was hilarious.
Yeah,
I thought you'd get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
This is what Tarantino had to say about his whole Trek adventure.
I know there's this Star Trek project potentially still out there that was, correct me if I'm wrong, story idea by you, someone else has scripted it.
Well, it's an idea that an idea I had. Then we got together and talked it out, and then we hired Mark Smith, who did Revenant, to write the script.
So where's that at? Just as a Star Trek fan and as a fan of yours, I'm just like fascinated. Is that like what is that? As much as you can say, like. Is it in the current timeline? Is it? You're a fan of the original series, I know.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Yeah, it's like I don't know how much I can say. The one thing I can say is it would deal with the Chris Pine timeline. Now, I still don't quite understand, and JJ can't explain it to me. Whatever, and my editor has tried to explain it to me, and I still don't get it. All right, Fred Raskin, about something happened in the first movie that now kind of wiped the slate clean.
Right.
I don't buy that. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. I don't. Fuck that. All right, I don't like that. You know.
I'm going to lead you down a road. You want the Guardian of Forever to have happened, don't you?
Yeah, I want the whole series to have happened. All right, it just hasn't happened yet.
Yes.
And no, Benedict Cumberbatch or whatever his name is. All right, it's not Khan.
Yeah.
All right, Khan is Khan. And I told JJ, I don't understand this. I don't like it. And then he's like, ignore it. Nobody likes it. I don't understand it. Just do whatever you want. If you want it to happen the exact way it happened on the series, it can.
So that's more in line with what you're honoring the series that you loved and came up with.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah. I mean, and ultimately why I would be interested. Somebody asked me, like, okay, well, what is it about Star Trek that you like?
Yeah.
Easy. William Shatner. I love William Shatner as James T. Kirk.
Hallelujah.
That's why I like Star Trek.
Yeah.
The reason I like Star Trek more than Star Wars is because William Shatner is in Star Wars. William Shatner, especially as I actually like William Shatner in almost everything, but William Shatner as James T. Kirk is that is my connection. That is why I like it. Like, I liked CSI because I liked William Peterson as Gus Grissom, and so the reason I was actually intrigued by the J.J. Abrams version of it is because I thought Chris Pine did a fantastic job, not just playing Captain Kirk, but playing William Shatner's Captain. He is William Shatner.
Yes.
He's not just another guy. He's William Shatner's Captain Kirk. And it's literally, Zachary Quinto is literally Leonard Nimoy's, because they both in the same scene together. He's his Spock. And they fucking nail it.
They did.
They just nail it.
Yeah, but yeah, so he's like, JJ doesn't even get it. That was the killer there. So
Yeah, that was. No, I mean, it's nice to hear Tarantino be such a fan. Which I just don't think the showrunners of Discovery. I mean, these people are destroyers of properties. They're not fans.
No, they're not. And Kurtzman even said it. They're using it as a platform to spread their message, and that's all it is to them.
He said that?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
Wow. You know what? When I sit down and write something creative, the first thing that comes into my mind is, what's the message?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Right?
I gotta write a message. I mean, you could write about an incident that pisses you off, some person gets hung, or some event that is racially motivated, and then you create drama around it. That's completely valid. A lot of people have messages. Sidney Lumet,
Yeah.
His movies were always lefty movies, but they didn't feel that way.
No, but now his daughter is working with Alex Kurtzman to create some of the worst television to ever have existed.
No, are you kidding?
Yep,
Yay.
she is one of the writing partners with Alex Kurtzman. She did Clarice and The Man Who Fell to Earth and
Oh my God!
Who is that?
Jenny Lumet.
Yeah, I know
Oh
the name.
my
Sydney's
God!
daughter.
Sydney Lumet's daughter. Oh wow.
Yeah, so none of the talent
that part.
went to his daughter.
Which makes me wonder: is she really,
Another Nepo
biological
baby?
relation?
Yeah, she could be adopted.
Adopted or mother fooled around?
Wow. Yeah.
I think this is going to be one of those crises coming up in Hollywood is the Nepo babies, because I think that's what that article is kind of hinting at, Andre.
Well,
that I sent
you're
you
probably
to.
right. Like what skills did she bring to the table?
Her
Well,
name-
J.J. Abrams,
her
one of
name
them.
allowed for financing. That's what
A lot of these guys are nowadays are Nepo
Yeah, take a look
babies.
at the guy that wrote Star Wars, or not Star Wars, but Solo.
Kasdan. Well,
Kasdan,
he also
thank you.
wrote on Solo too, but yeah.
Yeah.
Kasdan. Yeah, it was his son.
One of his sons. The
One
other
of his
son is actually talented.
Yeah, but sometimes it skips a generation. So.
Even Lawrence has kind of lost some of his edge too, though, because he
yeah,
wrote
no, I
like,
agree.
The Force Awakens,
Lawrence
and
was
I'm like, what
mostly
the
missed
fuck?
than hit, but when he did hit, he knew how to hit.
Oh yeah, yeah, like
the thing.
Raiders and certain other things that he was worked on. Hell yeah, but yeah, I don't know what the hell he was thinking with Force Awakens, unless he was just underneath the thumb of Disney and just had no
Oh, he
choice.
probably
there.
was underneath the thumb of Disney. Would be
A
my
little
guess.
bit, because Michael Arndt was kind of kicked off that project, or at least so he's implying with recent interviews. Because he was
Oh,
the one that wrote
interesting.
the original draft and treatment. So.
Yeah, there's much different versions of those films that existed, of that film that existed before we got the one we got. Because I remember reading an earlier draft of the script that was very similar to the one we got, but it was bookended by the beginning being, it opens with a sandy desert bed, and you see a skeletal hand holding a lightsaber, and somebody picks it up. And then the lightsaber that's where it starts to pick up the story, that you follow the lightsaber through the story until it finally winds up in Luke's hands again.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that was where it originally started. And that's where Maz Kanata says that's a story for another time. They cut all that shit out. Like, because it was a whole thing like this junker found it or whatever, and then it got into her hands and so forth and so on. But like, yeah.
It sounds
I
like it
mean,
would've
there
been a
wasn't
more
much
interesting
different
story.
otherwise. I mean, like the rest of it was pretty much the same from my memory, but like, I mean, it still had, you know, the big stupid planet with a fucking like kind of crap, and Kylo was pretty much the same, but